What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I am joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green. Nate,
We're
but
missing Derek tonight
I
because
feel like
Derek would have kept this.
we're gonna have a
Derek would have
you
kept this under control.
we're gonna have a you
'Cause
type of podcast here, aren't we?
this could be. Yeah, we're definitely missing Derek tonight. So
Man. Well, I mean, first and foremost, thank you all so much for watching and listening here at Talking Halos. Really do appreciate you hanging in there with us through the good and the bad. Probably a lot of the bad right now, and I understand it's not a lot of fun baseball being played right now. Even though I make the jokes always of it's baseball, and I'm happy, happy that baseball's around. I know it's tough. I get it. We've all been there. I mean, we're there right now with the Angels, but we've all been on teams like this where it just isn't it? However, Nate, I would like to say I tried to set the expectations, but with that being said, I don't want to take too much credit for that. Again,
I
thank you
mean,
for
I think
watching.
I think I had the same record as you, or maybe I was even lower than you
You were,
actually.
you
So
were, you were, but it still sucks. Like I've always said, it's tough. It's tough when you lose games. It's tough when you lose games because you're playing bad baseball. That's what I hate. I hate stupid baseball. And on occasion it does feel like the Angels play that, but let's get through these introductions here real quick. Thank you so much for watching,
yep.
listening. You follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow us, follow myself on X at Jared_Tim's, Nate at Nate Green 34. I feel like we owe you guys doing this podcast through the entire season. We're trying not to complain, try not to do too much horrible stuff, even if we do have to talk about the same thing over and over again. We are there with you guys. I promise. The brighter days are to come. Uh, and of course, guys, just give us one quick second to pay those bills. All right, Nate, where do we start? Where do you want to start tonight, huh? You want to get through the questions? You want to do a series recap? You want to preview first? I mean, you really want to get wacky with it. I mean, preview
No,
the
no, let's
Detroit
not
Tigers
preview
series.
first.
No, let's not. Let's
Uh,
not do that.
let's not do that.
Let's recap this Seattle Mariners series. Thank
Oh
goodness it was
boy.
a two-game set. Man,
Yeah.
oh man, the Angels lose 5-3 in the first game. Anything you want to touch on there, Nate?
I will say they got more hits than I thought they would.
Well,
Playing in Seattle, they got
uh,
six. Honestly, I didn't know if they would get more than three. The way that their offense had been swinging it, and playing in Seattle, and we already know that it's a very tough place to hit. So, uh, shocked they got six hits. Honestly,
hey, I mean, 16 hits in the series. That's got to be more. That was more
that's
than I
that's
think
what
a
I
lot
was
were
gonna say.
expecting. So,
Yeah,
I mean, if you're
no,
looking,
that
if we're looking up for something, I mean, the Angels did hit a little bit there in this series. They couldn't put runs across, but at
no
least
timely
they're
hitting.
hitting to an extent and getting on base. I think they had 7 walks too. If I'm not mistaken, at least they had 7 walks through the first 14 innings of this series here in
Yeah,
Seattle, where they got mini swept, of course. And then game two, they lose 9-3, a game that they definitely should have won. The what was it? The seventh inning gets away from them in
yep.
Seattle. Just kind of, I feel like one of those games where it's like, man, we just kind of want to get home, and they definitely showed that there in that sixth inning. And a lot of people are going to put on Reed Detmers, but I feel like that's just kind of how baseball is sometimes. I mean, you've been on the mound where that happens to you, and it's like little dribbler, little bloop single, little this, little that. All of a sudden, 5-6 runs get across the board, and it's like, what the heck just happened there? That's what
Yep.
it kind of felt like. It seemed like with Reed Detmers there in that sixth inning, and I know people are gonna probably be like, "Oh, well, you're trying to sugarcoat it and be all nice about it," but I mean, as a pitch to contact pitcher that I was, and I know you were as well, those innings tend to happen, and it definitely sucks from time to time. So you want
Yeah.
to touch on this game two at all, man?
Well, going back to game one, I did call a big Jorge Polanco series, so that was huge. Big day from Jorge Polanco there. Five RBIs. I mean, that's impressive, right? Like what he's been able to do so far this year has been very, very impressive. He's hitting over 370. He's got an OPS over 1200. Um, what's the home run number he's got? He's got 9 homers. Like it is very impressive what he's been able to do so far.
Jurgensen
Um,
Profar type season, but feel like the Jurgensen
um,
Profar when he was signed that 1 year
ex
contract.
I would say
But
Polanco has a little bit better history than Profar, but sure.
okay,
Um, yeah, and game one, it really felt like the Angels. weren't even weren't even there. I know that the score says 5-3, like it looks close, but like in all honesty, that game wasn't really even close. Like it really felt like it was over after the Mariners scored three in the second because the Angels weren't hitting. They hit in the seventh and eighth where they were able to get some runs, and I know I joked about 6 hits being more than I thought they would get, but still, like it just didn't feel like a competitive game. Like not a it did not feel like a 5-3 game. It felt more like an 8-2 game where it was like, hey, let's just get through this. We'll have one inning where we score and move on. Um Jack's numbers, I I think they're very concerning, honestly. Like I know people will sit here and go 6 innings, 3 runs, like pretty good. Um, you're pitching in a very, very easy ballpark to pitch in. And 4 walks. To
That's 6
to be a guy
strikeouts.
that doesn't strike anyone out, like yeah, he had 6 Ks. But like to be a guy who has what's he throwing this year? 32 innings, 19 Ks and 32 innings. You can't have as many walks as he does. Um, I mean, to walk to walk 4 guys in that game alone is more than you should be walking if you have 19 Ks. So he's got 12 walks, 14 total walks because he's got the 2 intentional walks. Like that is way too many walks. That's not a sustainable. That's not sustainable. He does have the bad
Somebody
ERA.
asked, by the way, on YouTube, and they'll probably comment on this. Why, what can Kahanowitz do to get more strikeouts? And
Um,
I'd been thinking about it as well. Um, and I'll give my answer. I don't know if you got to think about it a little longer, but I'll give my answer.
I would have to look a little bit more into it, but I the hardest thing for him is he's got to be east and west, so he probably has to expand the zone more east and west, and just it's gonna be tough to get some of those punchies on the fastballs in and stuff. But he's got enough velo to be able to like get it by a guy. But you're not going to be going north and south with what he's got. You're really just going to be living south. Like once you start going up in the zone with that sinking fastball, it's going to get absolutely tattooed. The slider needs to be better. I think that's the biggest thing is like that needs to be more of a swing and miss pitch. I don't think it's as I'm going to look to just to make sure that I'm correct, but I don't think that that is a great whiff percentage pitch like we would expect it to be from a guy that throws
I guess
97 to
I guess it's in
100.
the 20% range would be my
Yeah.
guess. I could totally be wrong, but
That
that's a little bit low.
that's what I was thinking too. That's why it's like, hey, that's got to be way better than that.
What I think
I mean, his whiff percentage is 20%. So
yeah.
that's not you're never going to get Ks if you're a 20% whiff guy.
Well, and
Um,
my thing with it is, and you actually hit it right on the nose. I forgot who asked it. It was somebody on YouTube. And I'm sure again, comment on it. Let us know because it was a couple podcasts ago. Because they had asked you in particular, like, well, what can Hanowitz do to get more strikeouts? Um, he just needs to be a little bit more competitive in and out of the zone, if that makes sense. Like you need to be more of a pitcher. Like right now, he's just throwing the ball, if that makes sense.
mhm.
As he's he doesn't have pitch ability, which is weird to say as somebody who's a pitch to contact pitcher. Uh, but for me, the reason why he doesn't strike more guys out, and probably the same thing with Jose Soriano is the pitch ability side of things. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, look at
they're
Jose
throwers.
Soriano.
They're
He's
not
disgusting.
pitchers.
Jose Soriano is disgusting. I mean, he's got three, I would say, two 60 grade pitches and a 55 grade pitch or a 50 grade pitch with 45 command, 40 command or something like that. Same thing with Kahanowitz, right? Like he's got the big 60 grade fastball, good fastball. Um, and I'd say the slider's not bad. It comes and goes. It's better than what he started with when he was in the minors. And the changeup I thought had always been decent for him. I know he doesn't use it. I feel like he doesn't use it a whole lot right now, but it definitely feels like those two guys should be able to get more strikeouts but they need to be better pitchers and not necessarily better throws. They don't need to have better stuff. They just need to locate their pitches better. And if we looked on, and I could totally be wrong,
Yeah,
I bet if we
but
looked on
that's
Fangraphs, their location plus stat wouldn't be great. I bet it would be weird, on
I
some.
would bet you. Well, Soriano throws a lot of balls too for being for as efficient as he is. It's weird. Like you look at him after 7 innings, and it's like, hey, he threw about 80 pitches, and you're like, oh, he could go an eighth. But like he's thrown 75 pitches, and it's like 37 strikes and 33 balls or whatever it is. Like it's not like he's dominating the strike zone. Um, and looking at Kahanowitz, his big issue is the slot. It's really his off speed stuff sucks. Like as simple as that sounds, it's they're hitting 500 against the slider, they're hitting 429 against the sweeper, they're hitting 500 against the changeup. They are getting zero whiffs on the changeup. They are getting 21.4% whiff on the sweeper, and there it says he's getting 30% whiff on the slider. So, but his put away percentage is only 12%
Which is
on the slider.
being more competitive with
Yes, he needs
his
that
pitches.
pitch needs to be way more competitive. So it is a little weird how many swings and misses, but he's probably using it like 0-0 because he knows guys are sitting on the fastball and he's getting some swing and misses 0-0 on the slider. But yeah, 0-2, I mean they're hitting over 500 against his off-speed stuff. So that stuff needs to be better. For people that are asking how he can get more strikeouts, you can throw as hard as you possibly want, but aren't if your pitches don't move at an elite level, and his pitches are like they're hittable, like you're not gonna get strikeouts. Any hitter can hit velo. Like any major league hitter can hit velo.
We saw
It's
it with
when the
Ben. We've
stuff
seen it with
starts to
Ben
move
Joyce.
is when they're huh?
So we've seen it with Ben Joyce. Like you're gonna catch
Yeah,
up to
Ben
105.
Joyce struggled until
You're
he was
gonna
able to get the splinker in there.
you're gonna
So
catch up to 105 no matter what. Like at some point, a
yes,
major league hitter is gonna catch up to 105. It will definitely happen.
especially if that's all you're throwing.
Sorry to sidetrack us there.
Sorry, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember that question that somebody asked, and I was like, good time to talk about it. But yeah, that's the big thing with Kahanowitz. It's a big thing with Soriano. That's a big thing. And I heard this last year. I'll say it from I won't say who I heard it from, but I heard it from somebody last year, and it was about Barrett Kent. It was kind of the same thing because I put a Jack Kahanowitz comp on Barrett Kent. I not that it's very similar, but they're doing very similar things that they've done in the minors. Now Barrett Kent hasn't thrown this year at all, and he went on the 60-day, and I don't know what, if it's the elbow, a shoulder, I don't know what it is, but they're taking very similar paths through the minor league. So that's why I'm throwing kind of a Barrett Kent, Jack Hanowitz comp together there. And it's kind of the same thing. They just need to be more competitive. Like you can get ahead 0-1, 0-1, 0-2, and on base percentages and batting averages go down. But if you can't put a guy away, it's a little bit different. Like I mean,
It doesn't matter.
I preach weak contact all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
if at some point your weak contact will turn into swing and misses. It
Yeah.
really will. So yeah. Game two.
Going back to game two. Anderson gave them a chance. Like
Like
it
always.
was a normal Anderson outing. Like wasn't anything spectacular, but he got through it.
Mhm.
The Detmers inning is where I really want to go to. That was I rewatched it before we started this because I kind of knew this is where it was going to go. I still stand by what I said last episode. He needs to be in the starting rotation. He should not be pitching out of the bullpen. I'm not going to change my opinion on that. Um, that inning, unbelievable. Ground ball to second base. I I think a good second baseman makes it probably gets him out on that play. It was a bad throw. Now, is it a hit? Absolutely. Is it a tough play? Sure. But we're paying Kevin Newman to be a very, very good defender. And I expect more from a below average hitter and a very good defender, personally. Second, you knew the guy was bunting. He showed on the first pitch. And nobody's covering first base. Like, do we not talk about a bunt defense? Do we not talk about how we're going to cover that thing? Like, it was pretty obvious they were bunting. He tried on the first pitch. He bunted on the second pitch. Nobody's covering first. Like, just a lot of things that don't go Reed Detmer's way. When you look at the numbers at the end of the day, it's like, hey, he didn't get an out. He gave up 5 hits in the inning, gave up 5 earned runs. But when you really watch the inning, like little things could have changed that whole inning. Newman makes the play, like he's pitching with nobody on it and 1 out. We get the bunt down. Now he's not having to worry about getting a ground ball. It's like, hey, there's runner on second, there's 1 out, just pitch. Don't worry about like, hey, I got to get JP on a slider here, so he hits a soft ground ball. It's like, no, just pitch. And then JP gets jammed, or first off, Ohapi misses the ball, gets it to second, third. Then JP gets jammed, goes seeing eye single to left, and that scores two. And then he gives up the hard contact double to J Rod, which it happens. J Rod's a good player, and he missed, honestly. Like, the one miss of the inning I thought was that pitch to J Rod, and it's like, okay, you make one mistake in the inning, you give up 5 hits and 5 earned runs, like that. I don't know. Don't really love that, and I just think the Angels need to be better defensively, especially with Wash. Like, and I know I go back to it, but like, Wash is the defensive guy. Like, those things can't happen. I don't care how. And the thing that makes it worse, I think, is it wasn't Kyron Paris playing second. It wasn't Christian Moore playing second. It was Kevin Newman, a veteran who we literally paid to play defense. Like, we didn't pay him because he's a 920 OPS guy. We didn't pay him because he's a 115 WRC plus guy. We paid him because he's like right around 100 WRC plus if it's good for him, probably closer to 90. But we paid him because he was a good infielder and could play multiple positions. So that is where my issue is in that inning.
Tough play. You're not making the play, but you're also not getting paid $2 million. So
I'm also left-handed.
exactly why I said you're not making the play. I'm
Uh,
just saying. Tough play at the end of the day. Like, I don't know, man. That's a I don't. I wish I knew where to find this. Certain. I think
what
it's
about the
only.
bunt play?
I think what?
What about the bunt play?
Oh, that's a breakdown in communication right there. I mean, that
Okay,
pisses me off more than
that
anything
one
as a coach.
that needs to be an out.
Yeah, so
That one needs to be
absolutely,
an out.
absolutely. You harped on the Kevin Newman play a little bit there, and I'm just saying
A little bit, like,
that's a tough play for a
again,
second
not
baseman going
saying
up
that
the middle.
every second baseman makes that play. No, but like, a good second baseman makes that play.
I've seen it. I've seen the play made. I have. It's a tough play. It's a good play if he makes that play. Um,
Which is what we pay him to do.
Pay him to get on base, not get thrown out of second base. Yeah,
We
come
don't
on,
even pay him to get on base. He hasn't got on base.
All right. I mean, we finished talking about this.
Yeah,
Let's
we're good.
I got a couple other things to talk about. You mentioned the Reed Detmers thing. I don't want to dive into this too much. I posted this on X. I know you're not going to like this at all.
Yeah,
Here's
no,
what I
it's
think the
fine.
Angels should do in with the rotation.
I saw it,
I know, and I
and
know people aren't.
I won't like it. I
I know
already
you
know
won't.
it.
I know you won't like it, but I like it, and I want to see it happen. I think the Angels need to call up Caden Den. I think the Angels need to call up George Clausen. I know people are going to be like, "Hey, man, you keep him down in the minors forever." No, just go ahead and call those guys up. If you're going to lose, you might as well lose with kids and give them experience and things like that. Call those guys up. You run a rotation of Kikuchi, Detmers, Dana, Anderson, Soriano, at least until July, because I would trade Tyler Anderson, especially with the way that he's pitching. I'd look at starting to trade him right now, especially with the way he's pitching. He's pitching competitive baseball right now. He's keeping teams in games, and I'm sure that somebody is going to need a pitcher at some point. I mean, the Cubs just lost Justin Steele. I'm not saying the Cubs need Tyler Anderson by any means, but someone's going to need a pitcher at some point, and someone's going to need a pitcher that keeps them competitive in games. And you're not going to get much, but it's going to have to happen. And with that, you have Ryan Johnson, Jack Hanowitz, and George Clausen piggyback off of your starters. I know, again, a lot of people aren't going to like that. I just want to see a young core group of guys out there. I don't care if they're losing games or not, but at some point, you're going to have to do it. Clausen's pitching well, Dana's pitching well. It's going to have to happen. Nate, I know you don't like it. I get it. I know a lot of people aren't going to like it. Go ahead, say your 2 cents on it. If you want to break it down, that's totally fine. We have more to talk about than just this. This is what I would do. I know it doesn't help hitting. I know it doesn't help anything like that, but I I would rather see these guys lose games than what they have going on out there right now. And in fact, I said it to you, I would be shocked if Kikuchi pitches in Anaheim against the Tigers this week. And you having some struggles there, man? You okay? You good?
I'm good. I was
All right.
just plugging something in.
Mm.
You don't think Kikuchi starts this week?
No, I meant Hendricks. Sorry, not Hendricks.
Oh,
I'm
Hendricks.
freaking
Okay,
people out here. Sorry, Kikuchi's
I was like,
pitching.
Kikuchi.
Hendricks.
Whoa.
Hendricks. I'd be shocked
Okay.
if Hendricks pitches against the Tigers this week. I really would. Like we're at that point. We're what, 6 starts in for him. Like at some point you're gonna have to. I mean, this is a short leash start for him against Detroit at 110%. I know. Again, win or lose probably doesn't matter too much for the Angels, but at some point you have to throw a more competitive arm out there. I don't want to talk about this too much. I got other stuff we want to talk about, but if you
Yeah,
want to say your 2 cents on
I'll
it, go
just
ahead.
the reason why I'm not a huge fan of the piggyback system, couple things. One, you're still not giving the guys major league starting experience. Like these guys, we see like that they are going to be starters. Like we want to see George Clausen get starting experience. We want to see Reed Detmers like back in the rotation. We want to see if he can do it. We want to see Caden Dana in the starting rotation. We don't want to see them as long relievers or like bridge guys. I understand that there's a time and a place to bring some of those guys up to be relievers. Yes, if you're in a pennant race and it is August and it's like, hey, we don't really have a spot for you in the rotation this year. We know there's going to be a spot in the rotation for you next year. Come be a dominant reliever for us. Be really good this year. Help us get into the playoffs. Feel what it's like to pitch in a major league game. Feel what it's like to pitch in this type of environment. And then, next year you should be ready to start. The Angels aren't going to have any of that anytime soon. So there's not really a point to bring any of those guys out of the pen first. For me personally. Secondly, you're really going with a bunch of starting pitchers now, and one bad outing would kind of ruin the whole bullpen. And you're gonna be like, I don't know. It's like, but if you started Kikuchi doesn't have in your model, Kikuchi wouldn't have um a piggyback guy along with him, right? It would just be the three other
You
guys.
piggyback whoever you want. If you want to
I know,
piggyback
but
him,
but according to like the way that you had it structured, Kikuchi would be by himself going 6 innings. That would be the goal. If Kikuchi has one of his outings they had in Minnesota, is there going to be a guy available to?
you bring in Jake Eater.
But is there obvious? And then the game's over. But like you just don't know if you're going to have guys available. Jake Eater might not even be on the team if you do this because he might be a guy that gets sent down.
Absolutely.
Because you're calling up. You're probably getting rid of Hendricks, which would be one spot. But then who knows who the next guy would be. So that's another issue for me is like this. The bullpen becomes really really small, and you're asking for guys to be really really good, and it could work if all the guys are really really good. But once you get that one bad outing, that's where this thing could get really out of hand. And it's like, oh no, we have no bullpen. And we've already had that once this year where it's like we have two guys that are available to pitch today, and
Exactly.
that's it.
Exactly.
And if you and that's not a good
Perfect.
way to win baseball games. Like it's not. So
And I already
that would be my
I already
issue.
said it. I don't care if they're winning baseball games. I'd rather lose with these guys than lose with what they're throwing out there right now. Let's look up a little bit here, Nate, real quick. I know we've been on and off a little bit with the negativeness, even though you haven't been too negative today. I've been proud of you. You're doing a good job today. Let's look forward to the
I haven't
draft
been
here.
that bad.
It's almost May 1st. It's April 30th right now. The draft is May, June, 2.5 months away.
Three yeah,
Two and a half,
3 months
2.5 months
ish.
away. 2.5 months away. Let's talk
Yep.
about it real quick. Who do you think the Angels will take with the second overall pick right now? We're 2.5 months away. If I asked Taylor Blake Ward this question, he would smack me in the head, and he may smack me in the head anyways for asking this question. But what are you thinking right now for me, man? Or do I need to start for you? And I
No,
can.
I think it's between two guys, honestly. It depends on who goes number one, obviously. Um, I wouldn't be shocked if Ethan Holiday goes one. I wouldn't be shocked if Seth Hernandez goes one. I wouldn't be shocked if Jamie Arnold goes one. I think those are like the three legitimate guys that could go one. Obviously, there are other guys that could go one, but I think those are the leaders in the clubhouse to go number one as of right now. Um, I think if Jamie Arnold is there, the Angels will take Jamie Arnold. That's not who I would take, but that's who I think they would take. The other guy, and I know you already hated on him, but the Oregon State shortstop, Avia Arquette, I think there's a chance that he goes as well, just because he's got some position flexibility. He could play short. He's played second in the past. He probably could play third with his body type and knowing that he could play shortstop. I think he makes a lot of sense as well. And I still haven't closed the Jace Laviolette because I still think that the Angels could use a power hitting outfielder. And I think that he can do it. Look at what he's done the last month and a half. He's been unbelievable. And he's the reason that that team is back in regional contention, basically, because Jace Laviolette is playing out of his mind, especially on Fridays. I love what he's doing against the Aces.
I'll give my I'm gonna give two answers here. If I'm the Angels, if I'm Perry Minasian, I'm probably taking a college player, and that would either be Ava Arquette, Jace Laviolette, Liam Doyle is probably in that mix, Jamie Arnold. Now, if I get that pick, Jared gets that pick, I'm and let's hypothetically say that the Nats don't take one of these guys. I'm taking a high schooler because I think the high schoolers are the best players in this draft. I even think that you can put Ethan Holiday. I mean, the Angels love Arizona, that hitting facility right now. You put him in Arizona for the rest of this year. You put him in Rocket City next year. See what he does, and all of a sudden, 2 years next at the end of next year, maybe 2 years down the road, 2027 opening day, he's your opening day starting third baseman. Um, I love I love Seth Hernandez as well. Eli Willits is a name you didn't bring up. He's
Yeah, I did not.
getting a lot of love at 1-1 right now. I know again we're two and a half months away from it. I love Billy Carlson. I think that he has a chance to. I watch him and I'm like, it looks pretty. He looks like Bobby Witt Jr. in high school. I'm a big Billy Carlson fan. So for me, I'm taking a high schooler, one the best high schooler that doesn't get picked by the Nationals, whether it's Holiday, whether it's Hernandez, whether it's Willits, whether it's Carlson. I like those guys. Another name, some other names that we didn't mention.
Doyle.
Marik Houston is another name that's been climbing up boards. Gavin Klein. Um, this is a draft, and I'm going to say this, and I'll continue to say it. This is a draft that you almost want the Angels to have the pick they had last year because 1, 2, 3 is not not what it could be by any means. So yeah, I'm a lot of time left. I figured we could talk about that here for a hot second, but two different things. If it's me, I'm taking a high schooler. If it's Perry Minasian, he's probably gonna take a college guy to replace a third baseman or a pitcher or something like that. So let's get on to previews here, Nate, before we let everybody go. Congratulations, you are finally on the board after almost
One
one and a
whole
half
game back
months.
of you.
You're one whole game back. I mean, it's been now you're half game back. You guys are both half game back because I have a win over you guys. Series win compared to your guys's
Oh,
who
because I missed a weekend. That's right.
yeah,
Even though I
Derek
should have got a
Gall.
win that weekend.
Nope, we're not
Um,
counting that. So Detroit Tigers series preview, guys. Go ahead, play along, keep score if you have not. Game one, Casey Mize versus Yusei Kikuchi. What do you got there?
it's hard to see the Angels winning a game this series. I know that sounds terrible. Um,
At some point, they
oh
gotta
boy.
win a game, man.
No,
You
they
can't go
they, they
winless.
do, but what the Tigers are going to run out there this weekend, like they're not going to miss anyone. That's what makes things tough is they're not missing Skubal, they're not missing Flaherty. Casey Mize has pitched really good so far this year.
Hmm.
Um, I know he hasn't really gone deep into games. He's mostly been that five, maybe gone six once or twice. Um, um, I will say the Angels win this game though because I think the Tigers have some lefties that Kikuchi should be able to hold down a little bit. This is the one game they win. I have
Ooh, it'll come down to Kikuchi. I'm gonna say they lose this game. Do we even need to talk about the next two games?
Skubal
Tyler
wins. Would be
Skubal
shocked if
beats
he throws a
Soriano.
complete game shutout. Over
Yeah,
under 2.5 hits in that game.
I, I'm saying the Angels lose that game. I'm not going to play the over under game.
Over under 2.5 hits for the Angels.
I'm gonna say over just because I think Skubal finds a way to throw 100 pitches in 50 innings somehow, some way.
Or in 5 innings.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, something like that in over
Okay.
5 innings. But I'm saying the Angels lose that game, unfortunately. Jack Flaherty against Kyle Hendricks. I'm gonna
Yep.
take the Tigers in that
Tigers win.
game.
Yep.
And then Reese Olson against Jack Hanowitz. Ooh, what do you got?
Reese Olson wins it.
He's pitching good. I'm gonna say that's the one game that the Angels win is that getaway game. Um, Knowing us though, with how bad we've been, they're going to go ahead and sweep this series. But you're saying 1 out of 3. I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying 1 out of 3. Not not great. 1 out of 4, 1 and 3 in this series. 1 out of 4. Oh man, this is tough, man. This is very, very tough. But again, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. Nate, you got a final thought? Go ahead, say it. What do you
I
got?
was just gonna say, if for some reason they win like game two, but they lose 3 out of 4, are we both taking a point for that? Or like, if for some reason, like,
I've just been going by
if I
series. I don't care. I've been going by series. So we both said,
okay, I'm just clarifying the rules for everyone playing along.
uh,
Like if for some reason they lose game, or if the Angels win game one, lose the rest, and you had them, winning or
yeah.
losing
So
those,
if
like, do
they
I get the
lose,
point? Like
I'll give you an extra half. I'll give you a half point on it. I give you a
that
win.
that's fine.
Give you a
That's what
half
I'm
point.
asking.
That's fine. We'll change that rule up now. So I give you half points if we get the series completely correct.
Yeah, that's fine.
Got to be completely correct, right?
That's fair.
So, all right, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching here at Talking Halos. Really do appreciate you. Go ahead and follow us on our social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow myself at Jared_Tims, Nate at NateGreen34. Guys, I promise better days are to come here with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. But for now, hang in there. It's tough. I get it, but it will get better. So, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. Have a great rest of your day.